quest for the perfect burger, I've made these. Want to see how they're made? Let's get stuck in. This starts out the night before. I make a Poolish, which is literally just 3 grams of active dry yeast, water and flour. And a starter mixture, which is a tablespoon of starter, flour and water. Put the Poolish in the fridge overnight and leave the mix from my starter out. Next morning I weigh out all of my ingredients. That's strong white bread flour, salt, sugar, more active dry yeast, eggs and milk. You can see after this fermentation period how these mixtures have changed. This will give my brioche bun mix a good start. I'm now going to weigh out my Poolish and starter into the mixing bowl. I would definitely recommend using a stand mixer for this if you have one. It just makes things 100 times easier. Now all I need to do is add those ingredients in. This is why I've weighed it out beforehand. It just makes it easier. Give this a gentle mix to incorporate all the ingredients, then let it sit for around 15 minutes. This will help hydrate the flour when you come back to it, and then when I come back to it, I put it on a medium speed for around 8 minutes. You know it's ready when the mixture is cleaning the side of the bowl. Whilst that is happening, I'm going to prepare some butter. This is unsalted butter and I'll cut into cubes. This will be added by piece into the mixture. Take your time with this, as it takes a little while for each piece to be absorbed into the mixture. After this, you should have a pretty good looking and smelling dough. This needs to be kept in a slightly warmer place for a couple of hours to let it prove. Adding some turns in will give it extra strength, so I give it 2 turns in the first hour and 1 turn in the second hour. Perfect, now it's time to make these into balls. You can eyeball it, but it's just more efficient in my eyes weighing it out. If you're shooting for 90-100 grams, that's great. I went for 100 grams with mine. So first I use a dough scraper to measure out the individual pieces. Then once I'm happy, I use some flour on the work surface to shape these bad boys up. There are a few different ways of doing this. I like to pull the edges into the middle. This gives a good base. Then I'm using the tension from the work surface, rolling the dough to give you a nice shape. Aim for a tightly rolled ball on each one. It's pretty therapeutic making these, and once you've got the knack, it's quite speedy as well. Once you're done, you can transfer to baking trays with parchment paper underneath, or as I've learned from the mother-in-law, these mats are very good and they're reusable. You've got to make sure there's enough room between them all, so don't try squeezing onto one tray. Use 2 or 3 if you need to. As my kitchen's quite warm, it literally takes around 45 minutes to an hour for these to rise again, and then they're ready for baking. Brush this over lightly as not to degas the lovely buns. Make sure they all get a good glaze. I've got some poppy seeds and some sesame seeds mixed together. Sprinkle over liberally, and now they're ready for baking. Put in a preheated oven for around 15 to 20 minutes until they're a nice golden brown. And there you are, perfect brioche burger buns.